All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into a classic tale. We're talking political backstabbing, a truce that's hanging by a thread, and some absolutely brutal revenge. So is loyalty a strength or a weakness when you're playing the Game of Thrones? To really get into that, we've got to look at a kingdom that's literally tearing itself apart. Okay, so our story kicks off in the middle of this long, ugly civil war. You've got two rival houses, and they're both clawing for total control of the whole nation. So, picture this. On one side, you have the House of Saul. It's falling apart. Their king, Ishbosheth, is pretty weak, and let's be real, he's basically a puppet. The guy really pulling the strings is his general, Abner. Then, on the other side, you've got this rising star, David. He's the anointed future king, and he's been smartly building up his power base down south. And this is where things just explode. The king, Ishbosheth, makes a huge mistake. He accuses Abner, the only guy keeping his kingdom from completely collapsing, of sleeping with his own late father's concubine. Now, you gotta understand, this is way more than just a personal jab. Back then, that kind of move was seen as a direct play for the throne. It's a massive political accusation. Abner he loses it. He feels like years and years of loyalty have just been thrown in his face. And in that moment of pure rage, he makes a decision that changes everything. He's done. He's going to flip and hand the entire kingdom over to David. So yeah, this is not about some affair. This is about honor. It's about power. And it's that critical moment when the kingmaker says, you know what? I'm going to go make a new king. So Abner doesn't waste a single second. He immediately starts cooking up a plan to basically gift wrap the entire kingdom and hand it over to his old enemy, David. And what happens next is just a masterclass in political gamesmanship. It's this delicate dance, right? A little give, a little take. Abner sends a secret message. David agrees, but he's got one condition. He says, you have to bring me back my first wife, Michal. Now this isn't just David being sentimental. No way. Getting Michal back, who's Saul's daughter, is a brilliant strategic move. It reconnects him to the old royal line and makes his claim to the throne rock solid. Once that's done, they seal the whole thing with a big feast, a very public, we're in this together moment. So, it looks like it's all over, right? The war is done, the kingdom is about to be united. Abner walks away from that meeting in peace with a promise that everything's going to be okay. But, you knew there was a but, right? Just when it seems like peace is finally here, a new character walks onto the stage, and his timing couldn't be worse. The ink on their peace deal is barely dry when David's top commander, Joab, gets back from a raid. And this guy is dangerous. So Joab is David's guy. He's loyal, but he is ruthless. And he finds out that his kin just cut a deal with the man who killed his little brother. You can imagine how well that goes over. Joab just storms right in to see David. He's furious. He basically tells the king, what are you doing? You're being played for a fool. This guy Abner, he's just a spy. He's here to scoop out our weaknesses and take you down. He's trying to make it sound like it's all about protecting the king. But let's be honest. Underneath all that talk about spies and national security, this is about one thing and one thing only: revenge. It's a blood feud. Abner killed Joab's brother in battle, and in their world, a debt like that has to be paid back. In blood. So Joab goes rogue. He does this all behind David's back. He sends his own messengers to call Abner back, saying there's more to discuss. Abner, not suspecting a thing, returns. Joab pulls him aside at the city gate, like he wants to have a private chat, and right there, he stabs him and kills him. Just like that. Cold-blooded murder. Okay, now we get to David's reaction, and this part is fascinating. He's in a terrible spot. This murder makes him look like a liar, like he set Abner up. It could completely destroy his reputation and that brand new alliance he just worked so hard to build. And this really shows you the difference between what people say and what they really want. You've got Joab, whose public excuse is, oh, he was a spy. But the reality? It was pure revenge. Then you have David. His public move is to curse Joab and mourn Abner like a brother. But his private motive? This is damage control. He has to convince everyone he had nothing to do with it, or he could lose the kingdom. So David puts on an absolute masterclass in PR. He immediately and very loudly curses Joab and his entire family. He orders a period of national mourning, tells everyone to tear their clothes, put on sackcloth, and he doesn't just show up to the funeral, he leads the procession, walking right behind the coffin, weeping his eyes out at the tomb where everyone can see him. He even writes this song, this public lament for Abner, which is just brilliant political theater. He's basically saying, should a great man like Abner die like some criminal? His hands weren't tied, his feet weren't chained. He was struck down by wicked men. He's painting Abner as a hero, a victim of a cowardly backstabbing, not a traitor. And you know what? It works. It works perfectly. The whole performance is a massive success. The people, all of Israel, they completely buy it. They're convinced the king had no part in the murder. And just like that, David secures his position and the path to a united kingdom is clear again. But behind closed doors, David admits something pretty terrifying to his men. He says, even though I'm the anointed king, I'm weak today. These guys, Joab and his brother, they're too strong for me. He can't actually punish his own general because he's too powerful and too necessary for the kingdom. Which leaves us with this really chilling thought. What does it really mean to be king if you're not actually the one in control?